For the first time in history, America is now more than $33 trillion in debt. Here's One America's Taylor Tinsley.
New data from the Treasury Department shows the national debt has hit nearly $33.5 trillion. The data was published on Monday night. According to the department, the federal government has spent 23% of its budget on Social Security, 15% for health, and 13% on national defense, Medicare, and income security in fiscal year 2023. Separated by agency, the top 5 spenders are the Department of Health and Human Services, the Social Security Administration, Department of Treasury, Department of Defense Military Programs, and the Department of Veteran Affairs. For comparison, the federal government spent $6.27 trillion in fiscal year 2022, and just 4 decades ago, the national debt sat at $907 billion. The national debt measures how much the U.S. owes its creditors, and this comes as congressional lawmakers are trying to avert a government shutdown. The original deadline for a shutdown is September 30th, but the House Freedom Caucus reached an agreement for a short-term stopgap over the weekend that would extend the shutdown deadline to the end of October.
I don't think anybody wins a shutdown. Think for one moment what a shutdown does. It stops paying our troops. How do you have more leverage in that situation? I've watched shutdown after shutdown. Everybody loses. Look, I don't know who gets punished in this. I do know that the American public wants to have their border secure. I do know they want to end the runaway spending because it's a hardworking taxpayers' money that you're taking.
Republicans are working to bring back Trump-era initiatives to increase border spending and also reduce Ukraine aid funding. And it's unlikely they're going to find a compromise with Democrats who are unwilling to agree on spending cuts.
And all my Democrat friends on the other aisle, great people, but you know what their answer is? Higher taxes. Not one time was there one mention of a cut. There is no way to sustain this, to do this, to reverse the curse other than have cuts. And the only thing this administration has given us is a treasure of things to cut.
Meanwhile, the White House was quick to blame Republicans for the rise in debt. In a statement provided to Fox Business, the White House Assistant Press Secretary said the increase in debt over the last 2 decades was overwhelmingly driven by the trillions spent on Republican tax cuts skewed to wealthy and big corporations. He went on to say Republicans on Capitol Hill want to double down on trickle-down by extending President Trump's tax cuts and repealing President Biden's corporate tax reforms. Meantime, more than a dozen Republicans have voiced their opposition to the short-term spending plan, including Representatives Matt Gaetz, Corey Mills, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Matt Rosendale. The House Speaker can only afford to lose 4 GOP votes if all Democrats oppose. Taylor Tinsley, One America News.
We'd like to welcome you to our new home for uncensored news and hard-hitting talk shows. If you're tired of cable companies and social media giants chipping away at your most basic and important right, freedom of speech, by shadow banning, demonetizing, censoring, and policing every single one of your posts, then One America News on Locals is just what you've been looking for. Finally, you'll have the freedom to express your point of view and stay connected with like-minded fellow patriots. And the best part is, OAN on Locals is only $5 a month. All of our credible, honest, unbiased reporting, ad-free talk shows, and exclusive content, all at the fraction of the cost of cable. So to watch, just click the join button to get the news you can't get anywhere else.